Greetings, family. This is Kyle Dixon here again for another post for Women's History Month. This is another figure of mine who gave me some inspiration as I was interested in certain things, definitely dealing with science and tech growing up. And I had a burgeoning interest in it. It wasn't necessarily a heavily strong interest, but I was always interested in how things work and how things come to be. And this person, some of you may already know, of course, and that is Dr. Mae C. Jemison, right? So Dr. Jemison was born October 17th, 1956. She was born in Decatur, Alabama, but she was mainly raised in Chicago, Illinois. Her parents were very much supportive of her dreams of being a scientist. She had an early inclination of wanting to be a scientist and also a dancer, which a lot of people don't know. She was very heavily into the arts of dancing, modern dance, and African dance, etc. growing up, and she had basically began studying dance by at age 9, and that carried on all through her life for the most part, and had a strong desire for the sciences as well. Actually, in school, one of the teachers, she mentioned that she wanted to be a scientist, and one of the teachers actually discouraged her and said that, wouldn't you rather be a nurse? So that just shows you during the times that how people were thinking as far as women, and not only women, but African American women being involved in those sciences. So she ended up doing a lot of things as far as being involved in the sciences. Actually, one of her inspirations growing up was Dr. King. She felt Dr. King was a huge inspiration for her as far as the I Have a Dream speech, and she felt like, well, dreaming meaning me dreaming of my profession, of getting into the sciences and progressing and making it a career. And she figured by that time that she got older that we'd be flying in rockets as if we're driving cars now. But anyway, she ended up actually going into Stanford College at age 16. And while she was there at Stanford, she majored in chemical engineering, which she got her BS in, and she also had a major enough credits to get a BA in African American Africana Studies. And it's funny because she said while she was there, she was discriminated against by some of her professors. They would ask her or look at her. Well, she would ask questions, and then sometimes that they would look at her kind of funny as if she asked the wrong question. But then a white counterpart, fellow student of hers, would ask it, and then the professor would be like, "Oh, what a great answer! I'm glad you asked that." So it's very interesting her experiences coming up in education and pursuing her dreams. But she also, while she was there, she was head of the Black Student Union, and she also produced and danced in a play, a production while at school. So it's just interesting, this dynamic of her excelling in dance and also her excelling in the sciences, doing both synonymously at the same time. So in reference of that, she ended up graduating, of course, and then after graduating, she went to Cornell Medical School, where she basically was receiving instruction in medicine, and ended up interning in Los Angeles at the USC Medical School. And after that, well, actually, let me backtrack. While doing that at Cornell, which is something I didn't know, she actually was taking lessons in modern dance at Alvin Ailey here in New York, which is also interesting. And while she's doing that, they said eventually she set up a dance studio in her home and produced and choreographed a few different productions. So again, this connection to the arts and connection to the sciences, she's using both of them to propel her forward. So after she graduates from Cornell Medical School in '82, she ends up in West Africa serving the Peace Corps, servicing the local people there. Also, she worked in South Asia. I think they said Thailand as well. So again, she's very active, and just really proactive in just following her pursuits. So preceding that, she wanted to apply for NASA. So, of course, for those who don't know, in 1986, they had a tragic accident where the NASA ship going into orbit blew up while taking off. But in 1987, she reapplied because the first time she didn't get in, but the next time she reapplied, she got in. And while there, she would intern and do things to kind of help with the experiments and the research while there. So in 1992, she finally got her chance, and what's interesting is what she took to her on the flight was a poster of the Alvin Ailey Dance Studio, and also a photo of Bessie Coleman. If you're not familiar, Bessie Coleman was the first African American woman to take flight. So she has these inspirations, and she's recognizing her heritage and history while she's making history. So they said that she spent 190 hours, 30 minutes, and 23 seconds in orbit. So again, and they say even while she was up there, she actually did like some type of choreographed dance or some sort of or something like that. But as you see, again, setting the standard, setting the tone, and seeing her growing up and seeing this African American woman very much poised, very much driven towards succeeding and being successful and being a trailblazer. And of course, afterwards, she didn't stop. She actually retired in 1993, and she ended up winning many awards, scientific awards. And she also actually started her own company called the Jemison Group. And the Jemison Group is responsible for research and marketing and producing science and tech products for daily life. So again, this woman just is steady creating, and she's still involved in the science community, of course, always promoting African Americans to get into the science and to the STEM careers, which now schools are really further trying to promote as well. So again, Mae Jemison for my Women's History Month post. Again, I encourage you all to do the same for women that you inspired in your life. And until next time for the next post, thanks for listening. Salute, peace.